Professor Zaxel stood at the front of the large classroom. The alien teacher had blue skin with small bumps and 6 eyes that blinked one after another. Around him, 50 students from different planets sat waiting. Most had extra arms, strange. Skin or odd eyes. Only one looked different from the rest. Kate Wilson sat in the back row. She was the only human at the Tralaxian Science Academy. Her normal 2 eyes, 2 arms, and soft skin made her stand out. She came here as part of a special program to learn about life on other planets. The room was quiet as Professor Zaxel pressed a button. A big image appeared in the air. It showed a green moon with thick jungles and blue rivers. "This is Proxima Silva," the professor said. His voice was deep and seemed to echo. "It is home to many strange plants and animals. But one creature there has never been caught or studied properly." He pressed another button. The image changed to show a shadow moving through trees. It was big, maybe 8 feet tall, with several arms. "The Nexus creature," Professor Zaxel said with excitement. "For hundreds of years, scientists have tried to find and study it. All have failed. The creature is too fast, too smart, or too dangerous." Kate leaned forward. She felt uneasy. On Earth, humans used to hunt animals just to prove they could. Many animals died out because of this. Humans learned their lesson, but it seemed other species in the galaxy still thought this way. "Your final test will be to catch this creature," the professor continued. "You will work in teams. You must bring it back alive. The team that succeeds will gain much honor and good scores." The alien students made happy noises. Some clicked their teeth, others waved their arms. They all seemed excited about the hunt. Kate was not. She wrote in her notebook, "Find another way." After class, Kate checked her school tablet. She had been put in Team Epsilon with 3 other students. She went to meet them in study room 12. When she walked in, 3 aliens looked up at her. One was big with thick, gray skin like rocks. Another was tall and thin with purple eyes that glowed slightly. The third was round and green with tiny arms and big eyes. "I am Drex," said the big rocky one. His voice was like stones rubbing together. "I will handle security and strength tasks." The tall purple one nodded at Kate. "Nixia, I can see in ultraviolet light." "I will track and scout." "My name is Gleep," said the round green one in a high voice. "I analyze data and operate our tools." I'm Kate Wilson," she said. "I'm from Earth." "We know," said Nixia. "Professor Zaxel asked for you specifically. He said humans are good at solving problems in new ways." Kate was surprised. "Did he say anything else about why he wanted me?" Drex shook his rocky head. "No, but we leave tomorrow morning. The trip to Proxima Silva takes 2 days. Gleep handed Kate a tablet. "Here is all we know about the Nexus creature. Not much, as you will see. It leaves few traces. It moves mostly at night. It might be dangerous." Kate looked at the information. The creature had never hurt anyone, but everyone assumed it was dangerous because of its size. There were no clear pictures, just blurry images and descriptions. Some reports said it had 6 arms. Others said 4. All agreed it was large and fast. "We should prepare our gear," Nixia said. "The jungle is hot and wet. Many small animals there can make you sick." That night, Kate packed her bag. She put in clothes good for hot weather, water bottles, food bars, a small medical kit, and a camera. The school gave each team special equipment too: stun guns that wouldn't kill, nets made of strong material, and a cage with air holes that could hold something big. Kate didn't like the cage. It reminded her of old Earth zoos before they were made better. She remembered a class she took about Earth's history. Humans once caught wild animals just to look at them. The animals often died. Now Earth had better ways to study animals without hurting them. If she packed, Kate thought about what she knew. The creature had never been caught. It seemed smart. Maybe it wasn't just an animal. Maybe it was something more. She made up her mind. She would go with the team, but she would try to find the creature first. If it was just a dangerous animal, she would help catch it. But if it was something else, something smart, she would find another way. The next morning, Team Epsilon met at the school's small spaceport. Their ship was ready, a silver oval with enough room for 4 students and their gear. Professor Zaxel was there to see them off. Remember, he told them, the Nexus creature is the prize of a Proxima Silva. Bring it back. And your names will be known throughout the academy. Kate nodded but said nothing. Inside, she was thinking about the creature. Was it scared of people? Did it have a family? Was it the last of its kind? The team got on their ship. Gleep sat in the pilot seat. The little green alien was nervous but knew how to fly well. The engines hummed and then roared. The ship lifted off the ground and shot up into the purple sky. Through the window, Kate watched the academy grow smaller. Soon they were in space, stars all around them. Ahead was their target, Proxima Silva, the green moon where the mysterious creature lived. 2 days to arrival, Gleep said. We should study more about the jungle and make plans. As her teammates talked about traps and tracking methods, Kate looked out at the stars. She thought about Earth and how humans had nearly destroyed so many animals before learning better. She wouldn't let that happen again. Not if she could help it. The ship flew on through space, carrying Team Epsilon toward Proxima Silva and the Nexus creature that waited there, unaware that hunters were coming. But one of those hunters had different plans. Kate Wilson was determined to understand before capturing, to learn before judging. It was the human way, at least the best human way. The ship landed on Proxima Silva with a soft thud. Kate looked out the window at the thick green jungle. The trees were taller than any on Earth, with wide purple leaves and hanging vines. The air looked misty and warm. Team Epsilon had arrived after 2 days of space travel, and now the real work would begin. Drex opened the ship door. Hot, wet air rushed in. It smelled like flowers and dirt and something else Kate could not name. The big rocky alien stepped outside first, looking around for danger. Nixia followed, her purple eyes scanning the trees. Gleep stayed near the ship, setting up small floating robots that would watch the area. We should make a camp before dark, said Drex. Night comes quick on this moon. The team worked together to set up their base. They put up 3 tents made of light, strong material. They unpacked food, water, and equipment. Kate helped set up a force field around the camp that would keep out small animals. She watched as Gleep prepared the cage meant for the Nexus creature. It was bigger than she had thought, with clear walls and air holes. Nixia studied a map on her tablet. The creature was seen most often in this area. She pointed to a spot about 2 miles from their camp. There is a ravine with a water source. Many animals go there. We will go at first light tomorrow, Drex decided. For now, we rest and prepare. That night, Kate lay in her tent listening to the strange sounds of the jungle. Things clicked and hummed and called to each other. She thought about the Nexus creature. Why had no one ever caught it? Was it really just an animal or something more? She fell asleep planning how she might find out. Morning came with bright orange light from the nearest sun. The team ate a quick meal of food bars and fruit they had brought. Drex carried the heavy equipment. Nixia led the way, following a path. She could see with her special vision. Gleep brought devices to test the air and scan for life signs. Kate brought her small pack with water, a medical kit, and a camera. They walked for 2 hours through the thick jungle. The ground was soft and damp. Small flying things that looked like birds but had 4 wings darted between trees. Once, something large moved in the bush, but it ran away before they could see it clearly. The ravine is just ahead, Nixia said. She pointed to a break in the trees. We should be careful. The ground dropped suddenly. The team reached the edge of a deep cut in the land. The ravine was about 50 feet deep and 100 feet across. At the bottom, a stream of clear blue water flowed over rocks. Trees and plants grew on the sides and bottom of the ravine. It was like a hidden world. Many footprints here, said Drex, looking at the soft ground. Animals come to drink. Gleep used a small device to scan the area. I detect 17 different species. None match what we know of the Nexus creature. We should split up, Kate suggested. Cover more ground. Nixia looked doubtful. The professor warned us to stay together. The creature could be dangerous. We can stay in touch with our communicators, Kate said. I could scout ahead quietly. Humans are good at moving without making noise. After some talk, the team agreed. Kate would go along the edge of the ravine to look for signs of the creature. She would have 2 hours, then return to the group. If she found anything, she would call them right away. Kate started walking along the ravine edge. When she was out of sight of the others, she turned off her location tracker. She did not want them to follow her if she found the creature. First, she wanted to see it for herself. The jungle was alive around her. Small animals with 6 legs ran up and down trees. Flowers opened and closed as she walked by. Kate felt like the jungle was watching her. She kept her eyes open for any sign of the Nexus creature. After an hour of walking, Kate found large footprints in the mud near the ravine edge. They were unlike any she had seen before. Each print had 6 toes and was about twice the size of her hand. The prints led down a narrow path into the ravine. Kate followed the path carefully. It was steep but had places to hold on. She made her way down to the bottom of the ravine where the stream flowed. The air was cooler here, and the sound of water made her feel calm. The footprints led to a small open area by the stream. Kate stopped at the edge of this clearing and looked around. Her heart beat faster when she saw movement on the other side of the stream. There, drinking from the water, was a large creature. It was not like the scary monster Professor Zaxel had described. It stood on 2 back legs with 4 arm-like limbs. On its upper body, it was covered in fur that seemed to change color in the light, shifting from green to blue to purple. Its head had no eyes that Kate could see, but it had what looked like small branches growing from the top. These moved slightly, like they were feeling the air. Kate held her breath. The creature was beautiful. It did not look dangerous, just different. As she watched, it used one of its hands to pick up a rock from the stream. It studied the rock, turning it over carefully. This was not the behavior of a mindless animal. Kate knew she was watching something intelligent. She decided to try something risky. She stepped into the clearing where the creature could see her. The Nexus creature looked up. It did not run or attack. It stood very still, watching Kate with its strange head branches moving slightly. Kate slowly sat down on a rock near the edge of the clearing. She placed her stun gun on the ground and pushed it away with her foot to show she meant no harm. "Hello," she said softly. "My name is Kate. I will not hurt you." The creature tilted its head, then slowly it put down the rock it was holding. It took a step toward Kate, then another. Kate stayed still, her heart pounding, but not from fear. She felt like she was about to make an important discovery when the creature was about 10 feet away. It stopped. It made a soft humming sound. Then it lifted one of its upper limbs and held it out toward Kate. At the end of the limb was a hand-like part with long, thin fingers. Kate understood. Slowly, she stood up and held out her own hand. The creature and the human stood like that for a long moment, reaching toward each other across the space between them. Kate and the Nexus creature stood with their hands almost touching. The moment felt important, like the meeting of 2 worlds. Then the small device on Kate's belt made a loud beep. The creature pulled back its hand fast and stepped away. "Kate? Tate, do you copy?" It was Gleep's voice coming from her communicator. "You have been gone for 3 hours and 22 minutes. Nixia is getting a search team ready." Kate slowly reached for her communicator, keeping her eyes on the creature. It watched her but did not run away. "I'm here, Gleep. I'm fine. Tell the others not to worry. I'm just collecting some plant samples. I need more time. Did you find any signs of the target creature?" Gleep asked. Kate looked at the Nexus creature, who was now sitting on a rock a few feet away. "Nothing sure yet. I'll check in again soon." She turned off her communicator and looked back at the creature. "Sorry about that," she said, though she knew it probably did not understand her words. "My friends are looking for me." The creature made a soft humming sound. Then it stood up and walked to a tree at the edge of the clearing. It reached into a hole in the trunk and pulled out a small object. The object was about the size of Kate's hand and looked like it was made of crystal. The creature brought it back and sat down again. It held the crystal thing in its 4 hands. Suddenly, light came from the crystal and made shapes in the air between them. Kate looked closer. The shapes were not random. They were numbers and math symbols. The creature was showing her math equations. Kate smiled. Math was the same everywhere. In the universe, it was a way to talk without words. She recognized some of the equations. They were about gravity and light speed. The creature was trying to show her it was smart. I understand, Kate said. She picked up a stick and drew some numbers in the dirt. She wrote out a simple equation, 2 plus 2 equals 4. Then a harder one, E equals mx squared. The creature made a sound that might have been happiness. It used one of its hands to draw more math in the dirt. Back and forth they went, sharing math and science ideas. Kate learned the creature knew things about space and stars that even Earth scientists did not know. While Kate felt thirsty, she reached for her water bottle but found it empty. The creature seemed to notice. It stood up and made a motion for Kate to follow. It led her to a different part of the stream where the water bubbled up from the ground. The creature dipped its hand in and drank. Kate did the same. The water was cool and fresh. "Thank you," she said. In her mind, she started to call the creature Sam. It was a simple name that could be for a male or female, and it reminded her of the word Samaritan, someone who helps others. Sam led Kate to a cave hidden behind some large plants. Inside, the walls were covered with drawings. Some showed the jungle and its animals. Others showed strange round buildings that did not exist anymore. And some showed creatures like Sam, but many of them together. "Is this your home?" Kate asked. "Where are the others like you?" Sam went to the back of the cave. There was a large crystal there, much bigger than the one Sam had shown her before. Sam touched it and it lit up. Images appeared in the air. Kate watched as the images told a story. Long ago, there had been many creatures like Sam. They had built cities on Proxima Silva. They had machines and ships that could fly. They were smart and peaceful. Then something bad happened. A large rock from space hit the moon. Many died. The air became hard to breathe. The images showed the creatures going into large underground rooms. They lay down in special beds that closed around them. They were going to sleep until the air was good again. But someone had to stay awake to check when it was safe. Sam was that someone. Kate felt sad. Sam was alone, the only one of its kind awake, waiting for the day when the others could wake up too. And now Professor Zaxel wanted to capture Sam for study. If that happened, who would wake up the others? "I won't let them take you," Kate promised. "I'll find a way to help." Sam seemed to understand her feelings, if not her words. It reached out and gently touched Kate's shoulder. Then it gave her a small crystal, like the one it had used to show her math. Kate's communicator beeped again. "Kate, it was Nixia this time," and she sounded worried. "Where are you?" "We're coming to find you." Kate knew she had to go back. Her team would be looking for her, and if they found Sam, they would try to capture it. She needed to go back and find a way to stop the hunt. "I have to go," she told Sam, "but I'll come back, I promise." Sam walked with her to the path that led up from the ravine. Kate put the small crystal in her pocket. It might help her prove to the others that Sam was smart and should be left alone. As she climbed back up to the jungle above, Kate's mind was racing. How could she convince her team that catching the Nexus creature was wrong? Would they listen to her? Would Professor Zaxel care that Sam was intelligent and had a whole sleeping civilization to protect? Kate reached the top of the ravine and found herself face to face with Nixia. The tall alien's purple eyes were narrow with worry and anger. "Where have you been?" Nixia asked. "We've been looking everywhere." "I was exploring the bottom of the ravine," Kate said. This was true, just not the whole truth. "I found some interesting plants." Drex and Gleep came through the trees. "Did you see any sign of the Nexus creature?" Drex asked. Kate thought fast. She did not want to lie, but she also did not want to lead them to Sam. "I'm not sure," she said. Carefully, "I saw some large footprints, but they were old." Gleep looked at a device in his hand. "We should get back to camp." The professor sent a message. He's coming here tomorrow to check on our progress. Kate felt a chill. Professor Zaxel was coming here? That was not good news. She needed time to figure out how to protect Sam. Let's go back then, she said. We can make a new plan for tomorrow. As they walked back to camp, Kate kept thinking about Sam and the sleeping civilization. She had to find a way to help them. She touched the small crystal in her pocket. Maybe the answer was there. Back at camp, Kate said she was tired and went into her tent early. When she was alone, she took out the crystal Sam had given her. She held it in her hands like Sam had done, hoping it would light up and show her something. Nothing happened at first. Then, just as she was about to give up, the crystal began to glow softly. The crystal in Kate's hands glowed with a soft blue light. Slowly, images formed in the air above it. Kate saw stars and planets she did not know. She saw strange buildings and machines. She saw creatures like Sam working together to build things. The crystal was showing her the history of Sam's people. Kate watched until late at night. She learned that Sam's people called themselves the Vexery. They had lived on Proxima Silva for thousands of years. They had built cities and studied the stars. They had never made weapons for war. They believed in peace and learning. When the big rock hit their moon 300 years ago, most of the Vexery went into deep sleep in underground rooms. Only a few stayed awake to watch over the sleepers and check when the air was clean again. Over time, the watchers died of old age, until only Sam was left. Sam had been watching for nearly 50 years. The crystal showed that the air was almost clean now. In a few more years, it would be safe to wake the sleeping Vexery. Sam's job was almost done, but if Professor Zaxel took Sam away, no one would be left to wake the sleepers. Kate fell asleep with the crystal in her hand. She dreamed of the Vexery cities, full of life again. In the morning, she was woken by the sound of a ship landing. Through her tent wall, she could see the shadow of a small ship touching down near their camp. Professor Zaxel had arrived. Kate quickly hid the crystal in her boot. She put on her jacket and went outside. Professor Zaxel was stepping out of his ship. His 6 eyes blinked in the morning light. Drex, Nixia, and Gleep stood nearby looking nervous. "Good morning, students," the professor said. His voice was smooth but cold. 3 days on this moon and still no Nexus creature. I am not happy. We have found signs, Professor, Nixia said quickly. Footprints and broken branches. We are close. Close is not enough, Professor Zaxel said. The Academy expects results. Other teams on other moons have already captured their target creatures. Kate stepped forward. Professor, I need to talk to you about the Nexus creature. The professor's 6 eyes all turned to look at her. Student Wilson. Yes, your teammates tell me you went exploring alone yesterday. Did you find something useful? Kate took a deep breath. I found out that the Nexus creature is not what we thought. It's intelligent. It can communicate. It has a civilization. Professor Zaxel was very still. Explain. Kate wished she could show him the crystal, but something told her not to. Not yet. I observed it yesterday. It uses tools. It understands math. It's not just an animal we can take for study. It belongs here. Interesting, the professor said. And you have proof of this? Kate hesitated. I saw it with my own eyes. Professor Zaxel made a sound like a laugh. Eyes can be fooled, Student Wilson. Humans are known to see intelligence where there is only animal behavior. Without proof, your claims are just stories. But Professor, Kate said, even if you don't believe me, isn't it better to be careful? If there's even a small chance the creature is intelligent, taking it would be wrong. Wrong? Wrong is failing your assignment. Wrong is returning to the Academy with nothing to show for your time here. The professor's voice was hard now. We will proceed with the capture as planned. Kate looked at her teammates for help. Gleep looked down at the ground. Drex shifted uncomfortably. Only Nixia met her eyes, and Kate thought she saw doubt there. Now, said Professor Zaxel, show me where you saw these footprints, Student Wilson. Kate knew she had to think fast. If she led them to the ravine, they might find Sam, but if she refused, the professor would be even more suspicious. I'll show you, she said. But it will take a few hours to get there. Then we should leave now, the professor said. Bring the capture equipment. As they prepared to leave, Kate managed to whisper to Nixia, "The creature is smart. It can think." "Like we do. Please help me stop this." Nixia looked troubled. "I cannot go against the professor, but I will watch and judge for myself." The group set off into the jungle. Kate led them away from the ravine where she had met Sam. Instead, she took them toward an area she had seen from the ship, where the trees were thicker and the ground was rocky. It would be harder to track anything there. As they walked, Kate felt the crystal in her boot press against her ankle. She needed to get away from the group long enough to warn Sam, but Professor Zaxel stayed close behind her, watching her every move. "How much further, Student Wilson?" the professor asked after 2 hours of walking. "Not far now," Kate lied. She pointed to a rocky hill ahead. "I saw the tracks near that hill." Just then a loud crash came from the jungle behind them. Everyone turned to look. Something large was moving through the trees, breaking branches as it went. "The creature," Drex said, grabbing the capture net. "Spread out," ordered Professor Zaxel. "Drex and Nixia, circle around to the left. Gleep, prepare the containment field. Student Wilson, stay with me." Kate's heart raced. Was it Sam? Had the creature followed them? She had to do something. As the others moved away, she pretended to trip and fall. "Ouch, my ankle!" Professor Zaxel looked down at her with all 6 eyes. "Are you injured?" "I think so," Kate said, holding her ankle. "I need a minute." The professor seemed annoyed but nodded. "Do not move from this spot. I will check what Drex has found." As soon as the professor was out of sight, Kate jumped up. Her ankle was fine. She ran in the opposite direction, toward the ravine. She had to reach Sam first and warn it to hide. She ran as fast as she could through the thick jungle. Branches scratched her face and arms. Twice she almost fell into hidden holes in the ground. But she kept going. When she reached the edge of the ravine, she called out softly, "Sam, are you there? It's Kate." For a long moment there was no answer. Then a soft humming sound came from below. Sam appeared on the path leading up from the ravine. The creature looked at Kate with its strange head branches moving slightly. "You need to hide," Kate said urgently. "Bad people are coming. They want to take you away." Sam tilted its head, seeming to understand her tone if not her words. It made a low sound and pointed to the crystal in Kate's boot, which was now glowing faintly. Kate pulled out the crystal. "Yes, I have it. It showed me your people. I want to help you." Sam took the crystal from her hands. It touched the crystal in several places and the glow changed from blue to red. Then Sam gave it back to Kate and made a motion like it was throwing something. Kate understood. "You want me to use this somehow, to stop them?" Sam nodded, or at least made a movement that looked like a nod. Then it froze, its head branches stretching out straight. It had heard something. A moment later, Kate heard it too, voices coming closer. "I have to go," Kate whispered. "Hide yourself." Sam touched her hand once, then disappeared back down into the ravine. Kate put the crystal back in her boot and turned to face the approaching voices. She had to think of a plan, and fast. Professor Zaxel stepped into view, followed by Drex and Nixia. The professor's eyes were narrow with anger. "Student Wilson, you were told to stay where you were." "I'm sorry, Professor," Kate said. "I thought I saw something moving this way. Did you?" His voice was cold. "No," Kate said. "It must have been the wind." Gleep came hurrying up behind the others. "Professor? My scanner is showing unusual energy readings. Very strong, coming from that direction." He pointed toward the ravine. Kate's heart sank. The scanner must be detecting Sam, or maybe the crystal. Either way, they were getting closer to finding what she was trying to protect. Professor Zaxel looked at Gleep's scanner with great interest. "How strong are these energy readings?" "Very strong, Professor," Gleep said. "Unlike anything on our charts. They are coming from down in that ravine." Kate felt the crystal warm against her ankle. She had to do something fast. "Professor, maybe we should be careful. We don't know what's causing those readings." It could be dangerous. Or it could be our target, the professor said. His 6 eyes gleamed with excitement. The Nexus creature may have some natural energy field we did not know about. This is excellent news. He turned to the team. Prepare the capture equipment. We are going down into that ravine. Kate watched as Drex unfolded the large net and Gleep set up the containment field generator. Nixia came to stand beside Kate. You truly believe this creature is intelligent? Nixia asked quietly. Kate nodded. Yes, it showed me things. It can. Think and feel. It's protecting others of its kind. Nixia was silent for a moment. If you are right, then what we are doing is wrong. She looked at Professor Zaxel, who was checking the stun guns. But I need proof. Kate felt the crystal grow warmer. Maybe it was time to show the truth. She reached down as if adjusting her boot and slipped the crystal into her hand. I have proof, she whispered to Nixia, but we need to be careful who sees it. Professor Zaxel called to them. Stop whispering and prepare yourselves. Nixia, you will lead the way with your enhanced vision. Drex will handle the capture net. Gleep will monitor the energy readings. Student Wilson, you will stay close to me. The group began to make their way down the narrow path into the ravine. Kate's mind raced. She had to find a way to use the crystal, but how? Sam had changed its color from blue to red. What did that mean? As they reached the bottom of the ravine, Gleep's scanner beeped loudly. The energy source is very close now. Just ahead, near that large rock formation. Kate knew that was where the hidden cave was located. That was Sam's home, where the crystal had shown her the history of the Vexery. If they found that place, they would find Sam. Professor Zaxel moved forward eagerly. Excellent. Drex, prepare the net. Nixia, watch for any movement. Kate squeezed the crystal in her hand. It was hot now, almost too hot to hold. She had to use it, but she didn't know how. In desperation, she did the only thing she could think of. She held it up and spoke to it. Help us, she said clearly. The crystal flashed bright red. A beam of light shot from it into the sky above the ravine. The light was so bright that everyone covered their eyes. When they could see again, they gasped in shock. Standing around them in a circle were 6 figures that looked like Sam. They had the same 6 limbs, the same color-changing fur, the same branch-like sensors on their heads, but they were not solid. They looked like they were made of light. What is this? Professor Zaxel demanded. Some kind of defense mechanism? The light figures did not move toward them. They simply stood, watching. Then, from behind the rock formation, Sam appeared. The real Sam walked slowly toward the group. It stopped a few feet away from Kate and made a gentle humming sound. Kate held out the crystal. Sam took it and held it up. The red light grew brighter. Then, to everyone's amazement, a voice came from the crystal. It spoke in a language they all could understand. We are the Vexery, the voice said. This world is our home. We ask that you leave us in peace. Professor Zaxel stared at Sam and the crystal. It's speaking. The creature is speaking through that device. I am not a creature to be captured, the voice continued. I am a guardian. I protect those who sleep until they can wake again. The light figures around them moved their hands in unison. The air shimmered, and suddenly they could all see what looked like a window into another place. Through this window they saw rows and rows of clear pods. In each pod was a Vexery, sleeping. 300 years ago, a disaster struck our world, the voice from the crystal said. We chose to sleep until our home healed. A few stayed awake to watch and protect. I am the last watcher. Soon it will be time to wake my people. Kate looked at Professor Zaxel. The alien teacher seemed stunned. His 6 eyes were wide and his blue skin had turned pale. A sentient species, he whispered, an entire civilization. Not just one specimen, but thousands. If you had taken me, the voice said, my people would have slept forever. No one would have woken them. They would have died in their sleep as the systems failed. Nixia stepped forward. Professor, we cannot proceed with the capture. The galactic law forbids interference with sentient species. We must report this discovery instead. Professor Zaxel was silent for a long time. Kate held her breath. Would he still try to capture Sam? Or would he see that what they had found was much more important than any test or assignment? Finally, the professor nodded slowly. You are correct, student Nixia. This changes everything. He turned to Sam and bowed slightly. I apologize for our intrusion. We did not understand what you were. Sam lowered the crystal. The light figures disappeared and the window showing the sleeping vexery closed. But the crystal continued to glow softly. What will happen now? Kate asked. We must report to the academy, Professor Zaxel said. This is a historic discovery. The first contact with the vexery people must be handled properly, with respect and care. Gleep looked excited. This is much better than capturing a specimen. We have found a whole new civilization. Drex nodded. A civilization of builders and thinkers. Their cities must have been amazing. Kate looked at Sam. And they will be again, right? When the others wake up? Sam made the humming sound that Kate now recognized as a yes. It held out the crystal. To her once more, when she took it, images appeared above it. She saw the Vexery city rebuilt. She saw Vexery and other species, including humans, meeting together, sharing knowledge. A future of friendship, Kate said, smiling. Sam touched her. Hand gently. Over the next few days, things moved quickly. Professor Zaxel sent a message to the academy. Soon, a team of scientists and diplomats arrived on Proxima Silva. They met with Sam and learned about the Vexery. They agreed to help protect the sleeping Vexery and to be there when they woke up. Kate was asked to stay as a special helper. Her ability to understand Sam and her respect for the Vexery made her a good choice to be part of the first official contact team on her last night with Team Epsilon before they returned to the academy. Kate sat with Nixia, Drex, and Gleep around a small fire outside their camp. You were right, Nixia said to Kate. The creature was more than it seemed. You saw what we did not see. Humans are good at that, Drex said. They look for friends everywhere. Gleep nodded. It is a useful skill. Sometimes what looks strange or scary is just different, not dangerous. Kate smiled. I think that's something all species can learn. To look past differences and find the thinking, feeling being underneath. The next morning, Team Epsilon left on their ship. Kate stayed behind with the contact team. She stood beside Sam as they watched the ship rise into the sky. Thank you for trusting me, she said to Sam. Sam made a happy humming sound and pointed to the crystal, which Kate now wore on a cord around her neck. It glowed with a gentle blue light. Kate knew that in a few years, the air would be clean enough for the sleeping Vexery to wake up. She would be there to see it. She would watch as an ancient civilization came back to life. And she would remember how it all began with a human who chose to make a friend instead of catching a beast. In classrooms across the galaxy, students would soon learn about the Vexery and their discovery. They would learn about the importance of looking beyond appearances, of seeking understanding before action. And they would learn about a human named Kate Wilson, who showed that sometimes the best way to make a discovery is not to capture but to connect.